All right, well, can you guess what we're doing today? Woof. Yep, we done did it. Yes, this is it, STARLINK. We bit the bullet, and we ordered it on our way up here to New York. Here we are in our spot in Red Rock Ponds, which is up in upstate New York, in Holly, New York, just outside of, like, Rochester's probably one of the closest, biggest cities. Today we are going to do an unboxing, setup, review, test of STARLINK. As many of you know, Katie works on the road. We have been using a T-Mobile based hotspot, and it was pretty good. A little hit or miss here and there. The company we were using, which is the FMCA, the Family Motor Coach Association, they changed over to an AT&T hotspot, and we've been less enjoying that. And so we decided, hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and explore more options, and STARLINK was the next option to explore. So let's go ahead and get into this and see what this is all about. I have no idea what to expect. I was an early fan of the idea of STARLINK, but I don't know if it's going to work in practice. So let me get some tools, and we'll do some setup stuff, and we'll get right into it.
A very simple unboxing here. Some people actually hold on to the hard plastic that's used for shipping, and they put it inside of a tote to use it as a hard tote carrying case. But nonetheless, you see here you have a router, you have a satellite, you have the stand. Very, very simple, just like the instructions on how to set this thing up. It's, I mean, so easy, a caveman can do it.
So we'll go over this together here. Hello, can you see that? So we have, don't bend it by yourself. Let it figure itself out. Plug it into the router. Plug the router into the wall. Go to your phone and go to STARLINK. 1, 2, 3. Easy as can be. A lot of people talk about how finicky the cable is, and that's like one of the biggest, weakest links is the cable. So I'm just making sure that as we unbox it, we don't have any damage to the cable or anything. So the thought is we are going to set this up at the back of the rig, which is pretty open. Then we're going to run the cable through the slide, just for now, through the main slide here to the router, which we're going to have on the kitchen sink area. I do love this router. Like, the design of all this is pretty cool. Okay, so this is our main slide right here, and Katie is actually on the inside. Where's your fingers? Oh, I feel your fingers. We're touching fingers. Okay. So, like I said, I'm going to send a few feet through, so we have to be very careful with this cable.
That's much better.
Yep. Easy peasy. Okay, so go ahead and just pull slowly. I'm going to unravel a couple feet here. We just want to kind of get it to like the sink. In a slide, there are 2 factors for sealing. This rubber gasket on the outside, and then on the inside there's a white gasket. The white gasket is on the slide itself, and then this black gasket is on the outside here. And so those 2 gaskets are your kind of protectant against each other. So what I've done here is we've gone through in between both, and there's a tiny little gap here at the bottom. So then I'm going to put the black gasket back over, and everything should be basically exactly the way it was. So that's really good there. All right, so there's the dish. We haven't plugged anything in yet, but we have run the cable. So now I need to plug in the router plug in the cable, and go ahead, and we're probably going to do some screen records at this point. But let's go inside and plug everything in. Okay. So, let me move over here so you can see. Dishy's right here, outside, right here. And then this is the slide that we came through. So you see we got the router here. So we're gonna go ahead and plug the power in the router and then plug the dish into the router. And I got the STARLINK app up and ready. Okay. So we have power. I got the power. Okay. Power is on. And the dish is in. Okay, and as you could tell, there's a light here. Okay, and that light means that that's got power. So we're going to leave that there. We're going to, let's see.
So at this point, I realized that I actually need to go outside and use my phone to look for obstructions. So basically what they do is they use the camera on your phone to look up into the sky to see if there's any trees or anything in the way. Now, as you see, I will go ahead and walk us through the process here. This is like the last process before it does its whole searching thing. So you see, I'm kind of looking around, then I run into that big tree right there, and that does give me some problems. It tells me that I might want to move it somewhere else, so I end up moving it just a little bit farther out. Instead of the picnic table, I put it on a little plastic table that I have a little bit farther away.
So I moved Dishy from here to here. It's farther away from this tree. Not by much, but maybe it's enough to help. Oh, okay. So we are currently offline because it's still determining. Oh, now it's online. Okay. I would say I'm pretty excited about this. I think that the future and the technology that we have now is really, really great. I think that obviously this is still in its early-ish phases. And every whatever month or so they keep shooting more satellites into space, so the net is going to get better and better and better in theory. I'm on a birch beer kick, so you're going to see a lot of birch beer here in these videos. Okay, we're going to play around with this and we'll be back with an update soon.
Some time later.
Welcome back. For you, it's only been a few seconds. For us, it's been about 3 months. Last we left you, we were setting up Dishy in New York. Well, we've done all the New England states and a bunch more, and now we're in Georgia on our way back to Florida. And I just wanted to give you a little update. Now, what I'm going to do here is move over to the side, and I'm going to show you a couple of different speed tests that I've run in the state that we were in. As you see here, the speeds vary, but they are very great. I am pleasantly surprised with the speed and reliability of STARLINK. I know it was a huge startup cost, and it's not cheap every month, but having the RV version, having the ability to just move around from campsite to campsite, set it up, wait 5 minutes, and you're ready to go, has been, I'll say it, a game changer. We've had quite a few spots that we've been in that have had heavy woods. Kind of before fall foliage all left, we were in a couple of spots where we were in the thick of it. And you know what? We still had signal. Maybe it wasn't great, but it was probably comparable to our cellular hotspot, which we've used less and less and less. However, here in Georgia, we have a beautiful piece of sky that we can look at, and we are getting some pretty ridiculous speeds. So for all of Elon Musk's faults, this is quite the success for me personally. So a couple of things. As you see right here, it's sitting on the floor, not mounted on a pole on the back of my RV like a lot of people do. I have found freedom in leaving it on its stand and just moving it around. Sometimes we're dense with a forest on this side, or dense on a forest on that side, or under trees just behind the rig. So it's easier for me to kind of find the spot, and with 75 foot of cable, it really hasn't been an issue. At the beginning, I would pull my phone out, look for the obstructions, spin around sillily and with phone in hand, and I stopped doing that probably after the third time. I bought the carrying case, the travel case, to put it in. I put it in the travel case twice, and I've never used it again. So that was a colossal waste of money, unless we were going to like really pack it up and go somewhere. This, I just unplug it on its stand and then put the stand under the dinette for travel, and then when we get to the next spot 3 hours later, comes right back out. So tearing it all down, wrapping up the cables and doing all that stuff and putting it in the carrying case became way too much of a hassle. So I don't really do that anymore. We are able to stream easily. I'm able to upload YouTube videos relatively fast, all while the family does things. We haven't had any issues or anything with STARLINK. For the most part, it has worked remarkably well. Like I said, there was maybe 1 or 2 spots where we were deep in the thick of it, and STARLINK really had a time trying to find some satellites. Part of being a full-time RVer is living a life with minor inconveniences. One of those being cellular signal or Wi-Fi. So a few of you know that we do have a spot in Florida, and there was a whole debacle where people were talking about the speed of the camp Wi-Fi and how that they thought it was inadequate. For me, I have never ever expected a campground Wi-Fi to be anything but terrible. I think that's almost like a Night's Inn breakfast. Like, it's there. It's basically just a pre-wrapped Danish and some instant coffee. It is breakfast. You are correct, but it is not something to write home about, and that's why it's so cheap. So if it's included, it's probably not great. So we're coming at you guys from the future. I know this is going to be a little bit of a mind boggle here, but what you guys have been seeing is our traveling up into New York. We have a couple more videos from New York, then we go do the New England states, but I just wanted to do an update video here from the future so that you would get a little grasp on what we've had experienced and firsthand experience with STARLINK. I would highly suggest it to anybody that is on the road full time. Anybody that has, like, if you're out in the boonies and you only have one source of internet and it's not very good, this is if you have enough space. I mean, you definitely need some open air. If it's really, really nasty out storm-wise, it also does struggle a little bit. What'd you find?
Food.
Oh yeah? Let me see. What kind of food is it?
Egg and some geese over here.
Some egg and some geese over here. Where's the geese?
Under.
I don't see any geese.
Geese
So here's
over-
some egg. You want some egg?
Yeah.
Okay, can you go take that back? That was very good. Thank you.
You get us some eggies.
Yeah, it was very good. Yum, yum, yum.
You get some more eggs for you.
Okay, you're going to go get some more?
And some sausage.
Oh, and some sausage? I love eggs and sausage. Thank you.
Eggs and sausage and some carrots and some broccoli.
Carrots and broccoli too?
And some sausage.
And some sausage. So eggs and sausage and carrots and broccoli.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great breakfast. I can't wait. All right, well, I need to go eat some breakfast with my daughter, but I just wanted to update you on our experience with STARLINK. We will be in Florida for about the next 3.5, maybe 4 months, and so we will be stationary. So I'm interested to see what this will do in Florida. Where we're at our kind of permanent spot
we have an RV spot in Florida, so when we set up at that spot, I'd be very interested to see what speeds we can get, and then do a long-term test, being that we're going to be there for a couple of months. So thank you very much for joining us. I hope this was informative. We'll see you guys for the next video, where we try out a garbage plate at Nick Tahoe's. Check it out. It's interesting.